Who was it that brought this up? Why is there so much focus on those who don't make it rather than the 68 teams that do? But here are the ones that were right there on the edge. And then, of course, Friday and Saturday happened. And Sunday, all hell broke loose. Everybody that was probably not going to make a chunk of teams that were probably not going to make the tournament won their conference tournaments to get in, and it's kind of that early glimpse of March Madness. St. John's, Rick Pitino, we're going to hear from Nikki Lattarulo. She covers St. John's for the New York Sports Network. She'll join us today. She used to work in the Waco market. Seton Hall, Providence, 3 Big East teams. Oklahoma, whose quad 1 record, they had 12 quad 1 losses. 12. They played a good schedule, but they just had so many losses. Indiana State, which you thought was going to be a mid-major that was going to get in and maybe do some damage. And then also there's the ACC with Pitt.
Indiana State just straight up got their bid stolen. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, they did nothing other than not win their conference tournament to deserve to not be in it, especially since they were like 28th or 29th in the net, whatever that was. And forgive me for not having the exact number. That's a lot to remember. But they had a really good net ranking, which, of course, Rick Pitino thinks is garbage. But all these other teams do have beef to some level or another. I don't think Pitt as much. I think Oklahoma maybe not as much, but a little bit. Of course, they did play that tough conference schedule. Oklahoma would be the team, though, that if Greg Sankey's plan for expansion of the tournament happens, would get in. Not St. John's and not Indiana State. Like, those are the teams that he wants to get in. His heart's not bleeding for poor Indiana State, who didn't win their conference tournament and then got bid stolen by NC State or Oregon or Long Beach State or someone like that. That's not who he's worried about. He's worried about the fact that Oklahoma, who's going to be one of his teams next year, wouldn't get in with a stronger strength of schedule because apparently he wants a more boring first-round game, I guess. But St. John's has a little bit of a beef. The Big East has a beef for sure, I think.
Yeah, I'll speak to Oklahoma. They didn't deserve it. they didn't deserve it. You had yourself on the bubble. You knew that going into the Big 12 tournament, and you didn't go and do anything. In fact, you kind of rested on your laurels a little bit, and you didn't go out and grab the bull by the horns. For lack of a better term, I know with Texas you think of horns. That's maybe not the best comparison with Oklahoma, but they didn't go out and earn that spot. You can't just expect it to be given to you. And so I think Porter Moser deserves a little bit of criticism for the way they handled it there at the end. And there's a lot of Oklahoma fans just unhappy with their style of basketball and just the whole mood really around that program in general. So that'll be something to continue to just watch moving forward. But, there was a lot of disappointed people when the Sooners didn't get their name called. But did I not ask every single one of the people that we interviewed last week about Oklahoma on the bubble, like, do you think Oklahoma's going to get in? And pretty much everyone thought so.
Yeah.
But, just the way the tournament played out, I don't think you can be shocked by that. So, yeah, that's unfortunate, and I hate it for those who got their bids straight up stolen. I don't think that was the case with Oklahoma. We just talked about Jeff Capel. Pitt doesn't even make the tournament, so his politicking, didn't work fully in the end. But I'm kind of with the texture there of why do we spend so much time on those who didn't make it? We're not, but we're, just pointing out who was there on that edge. It's part of kind of summarizing, yeah. And there's certainly some fun conversations that can be had about that's that field that did not make it. But I think with Oklahoma, that's one that didn't need a whole lot of justification, in my opinion.
All right, speaking of Greg Sankey,